make a video on this before? You know all the shit I talk, and all the shit I talk about as well. It's not like I'm hiding anything or two-faced, but I'm like, fuck, dude, they've been drugging me since I was a kid, and then when I get older, I realize, huh, I can really use some of that stuff right now. But then they're like, no, you can't have it. Only addicts want it. It's like, oh, you used to force me, beat me, suspend me from school, whatever, take me out of learning to drug me with it. And now I'm an addict because I like to try it again. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Well, it's called a drug trade monopoly. And I think what they're really doing here is they're putting people on drugs that actually do things. And also, some people might think they're not only terraforming the planet, but they're genetically engineering the humans. And I'll do that myself. Thank you very much. You give it to me, and I'm probably far better at you than genetically engineering humans, anyways. I understand how this stuff works more than the people selling me this stuff. I can tell you that much. I can probably manufacture most of their stuff. Chemistry isn't very hard to me. Neither is science. Neither is botany. So, but and like the marijuana thing, look, my whole life, I've been fighting for people to have the right to have marijuana, in every way possible, making it, providing other people with it, making sure it remains constant, fighting it, protests, and now that it's legal, everyone tells me I need to smoke some weed and calm down. I got the cops telling me you should be you smoking weed instead of drinking like you do. I'm not going to tell the cops, well, I'm drinking because I'm told you can die if you drink 1/8 of what I do. And so I know not to do that because where that leads to COVID type things where people force inject you and kidnap you and kill you with test poisons and stuff and isolate you. And then come cry about it when they start doing to each other and try to blame you for it when they're the ones who did it. So when they're the ones always doing it. And then it's I don't even, weed doesn't do anything. My body, gets used to things and does it. I can't be an addict, right? If I start using something heavily, my body just rejects it. And my body starts rejecting things after a couple years anyways. That's one reason why, everyone was fighting around me, pretty much there was the system telling me I have to be on drugs, amphetamines as a kid, and then all the males in my life, they all said, everyone from, pretty sure my Uncle Ron had said something, my dad said something, my Uncle Mick just said everyone. He probably would have asked for some if I had some, but they probably would have said the same thing, that they're just drugging you and stuff, because they're trying to sedate you. And they'd be like, well, give me some. Let's see if this stuff works. All the males were against that stuff. So there's a war. And I'm just this dumb, well, I'm not dumb, but I'm just a kid who's going to get beat and suspended from school. I don't think they had rulers back then in school, but they had drugs. They had drugs. They stopped beating you with a ruler, and they had drugs to give you if they didn't like you. So there's this war going on about whether I should be using amphetamines or I should not. And it didn't change anything. I was already a genius. I was already, by the time they put me on Ritalin, I'm pretty sure I had already won my first award from the president. And then after I was on Ritalin, I think that's when I won again the same award the next year. And so, God, I was fooling the president and thinking I was smart. That's why I should be president, because you're not going to be able to fool me for more than a couple days and stuff. I'll send the SEAL Team 6 to have a conversation with you about why I felt fooled by your little stories, son. But there's like that war going on, and then they used to force that on me, and then eventually addicts use it. And it's like, okay. Addicts use weed too. And I guess weed is legal now. Huh. Interesting. And I don't want nothing to do with it. Doesn't do much for me anyways, but make me stupid. So, I mean, even the stuff I got that claims it's sativa, maybe if I got some good flour, but I think my body just goes through phases and gets rid of stuff that it's tired of. Like, my body forces me to evolve and change throughout the years, whether I like it or not. You know, one day I might not like pizza anymore. That's going to be a very bad day for humanity. And because there's certain foods, just one day, I don't like anymore. And my body does the same thing with drugs that supposedly fry people's brains and all that stuff. Like I had someone the other day telling me I was on a person working with doctors, like ask, do I use amphetamines? And I could tell by the interjection and all that they think how I talk all energetically and stuff means I'm a meth head. And I've had like friends imply this too when I say like really, like to me it's really intelligent stuff, but I'm like talking about stuff I see in the world. Like, I'm like, have you ever noticed there's like other beings around us? Maybe not everyone's human. They're like, you've been using that. How much meth do you use? And it's like, And then the other person was like, when you come in, you have to be clean of meth, just so you know. And I'm like, well, I already told you I don't use that stuff. So, I haven't really used stuff like that since I was a kid, and you doctors force me using physical force. And the drugs themselves, I guess, once you start taking certain drugs, your mind's reduced to a level of compliance, which would have been the entire purpose of putting me on amphetamines, according to them, was I was non-compliant. I apparently doing all the work in 5 seconds and passing the test in the next 15 seconds, and then whatever I choose to do after that was called non-compliance. I'd call that compliance plus plus gold star, as they did on the test, gold star plus plus, okay? So sometimes A ain't the best. You guys know that. Sometimes you get A plus. Well, sometimes you get A plus plus. And sometimes you get a banana sticker on it too. So it's like, that's called, bro, like, I'm already in compliance with your bullshit, and apparently there's something else going on. We gotta sedate this motherfucker because it just got too much energy or something. I don't know, but to be honest, it does help me calm down to use certain chemical structures and stuff. It really depends on what stage of life I'm going through, because my body will start rejecting things and making them not work at all, and I'll just load up stuff and it does nothing. Like, I have people yelling at me, like, every time someone like, I go places and people offer me like 10 things in one night. Get over it. This is reality, son. I go to funerals and my family shows up with some pot they grew and things like that, okay? This is reality. If you don't live in reality, I feel bad for you, man, because the reality is I go out on a Thursday night, a Friday night, a Saturday night, and I get some hot chick coming and pick me up and take me to an underground club, something like that. That's the reality of what happened last month. One night I left my house And now she took me to like a special, her own little special party, but she showed me what the party was, which is really all I asked for. And her, of course, but that's all. But yeah, like I mean, to me that's reality. So I use lots of stuff, and not only that, like I didn't use anything too hardcore until except for house, until I began to run for president, and then I made the decision that I cannot, because I understood the marijuana thing, that people on marijuana aren't necessarily useless and just total heathen demons running about burning down cities. I didn't need marijuana to go around doing that when I was a kid. Marijuana was just available sometimes or all the time. Because when you're a kid, well, I didn't go to school, but hey, if you're a kid and you go to school like normal kids do, it's available all the time, every day, isn't it? Monday through Friday, whenever you need it. Just let someone know. You know who it is. You guys always know who it is. And meet them in the bathroom. That's where the most drugs probably are. But I mean, and at the doctors. But the reality land here is, I didn't even use a lot of stuff, and a lot of stuff I've only done a couple times, and I started that because running a presidential campaign, I don't want to enforce drug policy on anyone if I do not understand what they've gone through. I've actually abused things and forced myself through withdrawal in order to understand the withdrawals of it, even though I wasn't too happy about the feelings of the drugs themselves. I wanted to know that, and unfortunately, sometimes I do things and they don't affect me at all, so I don't understand it. And then if I don't get the withdrawal either, then I don't understand that part either. But yeah, I tried. Anyways, people are like, you're on meth because you're talking fast. It's like, no. You actually gave me amphetamines when I was a kid because you were trying to slow me down, buddy. Like you called it ADHD. Let's stop flipping this story around here. I'm all freaking high wired and like a ball of lightning, just crushing everything and crushing test scores, crushing desks, crushing the trees outside, crushing the marathons. He needs some Ritalin. Crushing presidential awards. He needs some amphetamines to calm down. And then later they'd be like, and I think you're an addict asking for this stuff. And it's like, oh yeah, I definitely don't make tons of YouTube videos and attend actual political rallies talking about how this stuff shouldn't really be the way it is. That I'm not making a video about that right now. It's just, man. But this little thing here is like, this is like a lot of human interactions. It doesn't matter where they have power of the government on their side. I mean, most things that are in society is the power of guns and bombs backing the words they say, but if you think of it, smaller things. I mean, I'm sure the religion and their holidays are backed by guns and bombs. I mean, how else? I mean, it literally is spy agencies that destabilize places, and then they send in the guns and bombs. And they used to send in the Knights Templars and just be all open and honest about it. So, other drugs. And these days I realize, like, I need some of that stuff to deal with these people because I can't erase my memory of all the shit they've been doing, like trying to force me to use the drugs that I now want to use to help me fit in and, be compliant. And they're telling me the drugs they forced me on for that stuff, telling me, no, we think you're an addict, that's why you're asking for that. I thought you were a dope dealing terrorist for forcing me on it, but we could come together in the middle somewhere. The drugs are drugs, and they do things, and sometimes people need things, and they're not always addicts. And you might be actually terrorizing and enslaving and murdering people. There might be people out there who are trying to kill themselves to escape you forcing drugs on them. There might be people out there trying to kill themselves because you don't allow them to have the drugs that make them feel happy because they can't live. They'll never be able to be happy in a world where every second of it has been something like people forcing drugs down their throat and then turning around and playing some game on them, taking it away from them, jacking up the prices so they have to go to work for 30 days to buy the drugs to put up with the dope dealing terrorists who forced them on drugs in the first place.